Hello and welcome to our daily show, The Big Story, where we bring you the hottest topics of the day right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Rachel, coming to you live from the Straits Times. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, so make sure to like, comment and share with your friends. Also click the bell button on YouTube to be alerted whenever we are live. I'll be joined by my newsroom colleagues today to talk about the topics that got you talking today. On today's big story, we have updates on the current situation in Hong Kong. Yesterday, nearly 2 million people took to the streets of Hong Kong to demand the withdrawal of a bill that will allow the city to send criminal suspects to mainland China. On June 15, the Hong Kong administration announced that the bill will be suspended in response to massive protests that took place over 2 weekends. The protesters that took to the streets yesterday also called for Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam to step down. I have East Asia editor Goh Sui Noi in the studio with me today to discuss what is next after the bill was suspended. Welcome to the show, Sui Noi.
Thank you.
So, Sui Noi, we know that the extradition bill was suspended on June 15. And how was the response from the protesters on the ground? Were they surprised? And is this considered as a victory to them?
You could say that the suspension of the bill by Mrs. Lam came as a bit of a surprise to the protesters, principally because even after the 1 million people march on Sunday, June 7th, Mrs. Lam was pretty adamant about carrying on with the bill without delay. And even on Wednesday, when there were violent clashes between the police and protesters, she still insisted that it would go on. Yes, and so organizers on Thursday and Friday were still calling for the people to go out to protest yesterday and also to go on strike on Monday. But what happened on Wednesday, the violent clashes between the police and protesters, actually got some of the supporters of the bill wavering a bit about whether it should be carried on. This is because they are worried that there might be further violence. So they came out to suggest to Mrs. Lam that perhaps it should be delayed. And so on Friday evening, there were rumors circulating actually that she would withdraw the bill. But of course, in the event we knew that she didn't withdraw the bill, she just said that she would suspend it. Yeah. And yes, this is a victory for the protesters, but they have not got what they want actually. This is not a full victory because they wanted the withdrawal of the bill. What they got was just a suspension. And so we saw them going out into the streets again yesterday. And the fact that about 2 million people turned out just shows how much they wanted this bill to be withdrawn, principally because they feel that it would erode their civil rights and freedoms, and that Hong Kong's one country, two systems framework in which the city has a high degree of autonomy will also be eroded.
And you said that they got the leaders shaking, right? Just yesterday, Miss Carrie Lam herself came out to apologize. Is her apology enough? And we know that protesters went on the streets demanding for her to resign. Would she resign, and why are they demanding it?
Right. Okay, as we can see, her apology really to the people is not enough, because today they are still out in the streets demanding withdrawal of the bill and calling for her resignation. Right. So why are they asking for her to resign? To her, she should take responsibility for introducing a bill which is so divisive and which threatens their civil rights and freedoms. Yeah. And they're also unhappy that she has still refused to withdraw the bill. Right? It is still on the table. And there are some who also think that what has happened, all these protests and everything, has basically damaged her authority, and so her government is not going to be very effective. So they think that it would be better for her to step down.
And
Yeah.
moving forward, do you think Miss Carrie Lam herself, trying to maybe regain the people's trust, eventually do you think she will withdraw the bill?
Well, actually, the bill is pretty much dead in the water. So today, Bernard Chen, who is the top advisor to Mrs. Lam, he gave an interview on TV in which he said that the bill was technically over and that the next chief executive would not dare to table the bill again due to its great controversies. Yeah, but he also said that the government will not withdraw the bill because it wants discussions about the pros and cons of this piece of legislation to continue. I think this kind of set the government and the people up for more confrontation. As to whether she would withdraw the bill, I think it very much depends on how far the people are going to pressure her and push her into doing so.
And we see this is an example of the power of the people in Hong Kong, which is quite amazing. Yeah, thank you, Sui Noi, for sharing your insights on this matter. For more updates on the Hong Kong protest, do log on to straitstimes.com.